Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the UNESCO Cluster Office for the Caribbean, I would like to welcome you all to the second online conference, Artificial Intelligence for Information Accessibility, which takes place on the occasion of the International Day of Universal Access to Information, celebrated on 28th September every year. Our special thanks to the Information for All program, Working Group on Information Accessibility for organizing this event, as well as to their prestigious partners for their valuable collaboration, the Kuhl Institute for Advanced Studies and AI for Society, both at University of Alberta, Canada, the International Center for Information Ethics, the Future Africa at the University of Pretoria, South Africa, the Center for New Economic Diplomacy at the Observer Research Foundation, India, and the Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica. In Kingston, Jamaica, the UNESCO Cluster Office for the Caribbean is honored to sponsor this conference with the UNESCO Regional Office for Southern Africa in Harare, Zimbabwe. The 74th UN General Assembly proclaimed 28 September as the International Day for Universal Access to Information in October 2019. The day was declared by the UNESCO General Conference in 2015 following the adoption of the 38th Sixth Resolution 57, saying 28 September of every year as the International Day for Universal Access to Information. The theme of the 21 celebration is the right to know, building back better with access to information. And within this overall theme, UNESCO is facilitating a global dialogue that highlights the role of access to information laws and their implementation to build back solid institutions for the public good and sustainable development, as well as to strengthen the right to information and international cooperation in this field. In this framework, 5 international panels are taking place on 28 and 29 September, organized by UNESCO and its partners. I am pleased to share this information with you. First, access to information laws during the decade of action, trends and challenges. Second, the importance of the independence and efficiency of oversight bodies and legal frameworks. Third, leveraging digital technologies for peace and sustainable development. Fourth, delivering regional deliverance for citizens, building the effectiveness of access to information initiative. And lastly, but not least, access to information regional perspective and UNESCO policy guide. Ladies and gentlemen, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights marks a qualitative advance in the exercise of communication and free circulation of ideas by boosting freedom of expression and access to information as fundamental rights in the Article 19. Everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. The Sustainable Development Goal number 16 of the 2030 Agenda promote just, peaceful, and inclusive societies, and its target 16.10, which aims to ensure public access to information and protect fundamental freedoms in accordance with national legislation and international agreement, reinforces access to information as a fundamental human right. The indicator 16.10.2 tracks progress on adopting and implementing constitutional or statutory and/or policy guarantees for public access to information worldwide. UNESCO is the custodian agency in the United Nations for monitoring this aspect of SDG performance. The COVID-19 scenario has raised the need for a global reflection on the impact of access to and quality of information on democratic participation and the culture of peace, as well as on decision-making and the exercise of human rights. This reflection aims to dialogue the technical, social, and ethical gap to achieve the aspiration of sustainable development based on public access to information and fundamental freedoms. There is increased legal recognition of the right to access information. While in 1991 only 12 countries had laws guaranteeing the rights of citizens to access government information, this number rose to 40 countries in 2009, culminating in 126 countries in 2019. However, there are pending challenges regarding the incorporation of international standards and the effective application of laws. The significant technological advances increase the opportunities for people to access information, provided that the technologies are available to everyone, that every person has connectivity, and the required skills to interact with them in a meaningful way. Hate speech and disinformation have proliferated. The digital revolution for sustainable development in the new normal calls for a human-centered technology. I would like to stress that the compelling necessity of inclusive opportunities for development in a sustainable world within the fourth industrial revolution urges us to join efforts and resources in a global action to tackle obstacles in access to technology and its benefits, such as the United Nations, the Secretary General Roadmap for Digital Cooperation. In addition, the digital inequalities make it urgent that we address divides in digital access, skills, and literacy. UNESCO is taking action towards promoting an inclusive digital transformation and ethical and rights-based development and use of frontier technologies, such as artificial intelligence, in line with the Internet universality principle of human rights, openness, accessibility, and multi-stakeholder participation to bridge digital and knowledge divides among people and regions and countries. In addition, UNESCO has embarked on a 2-year process to elaborate the first global standard-setting instrument on the ethics of artificial intelligence in the form of a recommendation following the decision of UNESCO's General Conference and its 40th session in November 2019. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in his address to the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly on 21 September said, I quote, "I see 6 great divides, 6 grand canyons that we must bridge now. Fifth, restoring trust and inspiring hope means bridging the digital divide. To restore trust and inspire hope, we need to place human rights at the center of our efforts to ensure a safe, equitable, and open digital future for all. End of the quote. A horizon like this is undoubtedly a promise for guarantee and enjoyment of the right to information. Leaving no one behind in the digital future implies building a bridge that everyone can cross without exclusions, without disadvantages, without prejudice. Digital opportunities in sustainable development should be a space wide open to diversity, girls and women, young people, the elderly, persons with disability, indigenous peoples, and Afro-descendants, people in a situation of human mobility, people deprived of liberty, and all those with the undeniable potential to contribute to that sustainable development. All those with the right of crossing the bridge. Thank you very much for your kind attention.